Good morning, good morning. This is Aurelia Davis, the educator's educator. And I'm coming to you on a Friday morning in Chicago just to talk a little bit about how to secure and obtain a successful school year. First, I would like to congratulate Chicago Teachers Union, Chicago Public Schools on coming to a common ground, coming to an agreement so that the children and the students and the teachers were able to come back into the buildings this week. Hopefully they had a very successful week. I wish them the best all the time. But going back to lessons and securing a powerful and successful school year. This is something that teachers should take into consideration every week, every day, every year. I remember when, while teaching, I would look forward to the half year, which is January, because right now the year is almost over. You only have a few more months to go. And in January, you want to go back and just sort of review what has happened up until that particular time. And you want to also decide how to go forward, how to just take it to the next level or take your students to the next step. We do know that maybe before spring break in some districts or after spring break, there will be testing, there will be evaluating on the nation level and the state level and the city level. And children will be taking assessments in reading and math, and some other grades will be taking assessments in reading, math, social studies, and science. So at this particular time, if those are the subjects that were introduced in September, you want to know exactly how much has been embedded in your children's minds and brains in order for them to be successful on the testing. I would, after coming from Christmas break, what I find myself doing is just doing a quick review of what I have taught from September up to that particular point. And then what I would do is I would also try to assess my students and put them in three different groups. I always remember, by this time I'm knowing what's sitting in front of me, but at the same time, the children have grown as far as maturity is concerned. They have grown as far as their minds are concerned. They have just did a lot of growing. And as I taught the skills, as I taught the lessons, they were able to obtain and secure things in their brains that they needed to know in order to move to the next level or the next grade. So what I would start doing in January, after we would get all of our excitement out for being back and so forth, the children would just have their own time. I would give them a lot of time. I have always been the type of teacher where I didn't want to feel rushed. When I first started teaching, what I would do is I would be so hyped up as to what I needed to finish before the school year. And that was being unrealistic because you can never finish what has been assigned to you. You can't finish the whole reading book. You can't finish the whole the curriculum in social studies, science, and math. You can't finish it. But if you get as close to it as possible, then that's okay also. So anyway, getting back, what I would do is I knew I had three groups of children in my classroom. The first group would be my students that are on grade level or above grade level. So if I was teaching third grade, that means these students were at third grade level, and some of them were even at the fourth grade level, which is good. Then what I would do is I would look at that middle group. This middle group is a group of young people or children who may be on grade level in one subject or the other, but not on grade level on everything. So they still need skills. They still need to have resources. They still need to be worked with in small groups or individual groups or one-on-one. And then, of course, that's that group at my special group that I love so much because I just love seeing these children grow from September to December. And that's that group that may have an IEP, or those students that are bilingual or just have extra resources that are being given to them in order for them to learn and to be able to accomplish. So that group is very important also. I would just go online or either go through my paperwork and my books and things and just find a middle assessment in reading and in math. I would find a middle assessment in reading and math. Something middle meaning that I would find something that could either be below grade level or above grade level, or either it can start one way and go up or one way and go down. So that would be what I would do. And so about a week later into the new school year or into January, I would give my students this particular assessment just to see exactly where they are. Then I would sit down and divide them into groups. The joy of this is that seeing some of the children that may have been in that middle group rise above to the third group, the group that are on grade level and above. And that's a good thing. But I would calculate and sit down and see exactly where my children are, what they have been accomplishing, what they were able to accomplish, and then I would measure. Then after the assessment has been done, I would sit down and place in my lesson plans how I would be able to work with these groups weekly. That top group, I would definitely want to give them more challenging things in math and reading and social studies and science, just to give them more challenges, which I believe they need in order to go on to the next level or go on to fourth grade. That middle group, I would start tapping into them to the level where I would start paying attention more to what they're doing, but I would sit down with them in small groups or at their tables and sort of help them work through a particular lesson, ask them questions, and then have them ask questions back to me. Then that last group that needs a lot of extra help, I would sometimes integrate them into some of the other groups, so that the students can help each other, which they love to do. Children love to be teachers. So that last group, I would sort of sit them down with a partner or with another group of children and let them help each other with particular assignments. After maybe doing this for about 2 to 3 weeks, that means you're going to be coming into February, then what I would do is I would reassess. And this time I would look at children individually, those students that needed one-on-one help. It can be in the first group, the second group, or the third group. One-on-one help, one-on-one, to the point where they would sit with me maybe about an hour or so, 2 days out of the week, and we would work on things that they were having difficulty with. I would also send home materials to the parents of those particular children, letting them know that there's going to be some assessments coming up in the near future, and I would like for them to help their child with this particular concept in math. I would like for them to help their child with maybe reading more fluently, okay, all of those types of things. And then the parents, of course, would get back to me, and if they needed a one-on-one conference about this particular item or what I was asking them to do, then I will be available for that also. But what happens is that by the time the testing starts and by the time the assessment starts, and I'm not sure what's going on in the buildings now, being 2022, but I do understand that the children are taking most of the assessments on a laptop or a computer. And so by that time, the children would have had a lot of practice with those things, but at the same time, the concepts of what they might meet on those particular laptops, some questions, things we have not covered yet, I may tap into those particular questions. A certain, for instance, if up in third grade, we've only gotten to subtracting and borrowing in mathematics, if there was going to be an area on the test where the children would be expected to do some multiplication, then I would introduce multiplication to the children. I would introduce division. And from that point on, they would know what it looks like if they see it on screen. So these are the things, some of the lessons that you as an educator can start with when you go back. Now that you're back into the building, now that you're back into your classrooms, you're preparing for these assessments that's coming to you on the state level or the city level. And I just wish you the great success. But at the same time, if you do feel that you need some extra support, I'm asking you to go to my website, aureliadavis.com, sign in to the comments and give me a email or time when we can talk or conference with each other. And I would be very happy to give you some more pointers on this lessons to have a strong, successful school year. Take care.